This is Andy Purewal for Boxing Social in association with Betfred, and I'm delighted to be joined by Sean Fennell and Sean Krool over Zoom. Guys, how are we doing?
Yes, mate. All good, thanks. All good.
We're good, thanks. Andy, and yourself? Are you okay?
I'm all good, thank you. I'm all good. How's life in Ukraine been whilst you've been there?
But sunny.
It's good. We've not had the worst of weather. It's been sunny a couple of days. We've had one day of rain, but that was about it.
I mean, Sean Fennell, that is, just to kind of start with yourself, back-to-back fights away from the UK now. Why do you think you've had to take this step in your career? Why have you not kind of waited for an opportunity back over here on UK shores?
Well, how the fight went last time, I wanted to get straight back and sort of correct the last fight. So I don't think there was any time to waste. We had to correct what happened in training, and I feel like I have done that. So we made the decision to come straight back over and get the fight.
Talk to me about that. Going back to the last fight, lost via unanimous decision. Yeah. Reflect on it for me. How would you assess your performance now? Time has passed, and how frustrating was it to lose that bout at such an early stage of your career?
Yeah, it was very frustrating. I feel like it's made me grow up a lot, grow as a boxer. I've had to change how I head towards everything within training, how I've been getting ready for the fight. My whole mindset's changed, and I feel like it's happened for the best. Obviously, no one wants to lose, but I'll take what I can from it, and it's made me the man I am today. So it is what it is.
Can I add to that?
Yep.
I also feel it was a bit controversial, the fight itself. Yes, it was not the best performance from Sean, but back home, minimum we would have got a draw for that. Sean done the cleaner work for me. A few people that have watched the fight, especially, I can't name it on other because I'm on Boxing Social now, but one of the other boxing websites in Britain had it on, and I mean, even everyone there said minimum he should have got a draw. The cleaner work came from Sean. Yes, the pressure came from Nadzir, but I think that because he was at home, everything was a little bit a hometown decision in his favor. And that's one of the reasons now when I spoke to El Siesta, and they suggested that they could give us that fight again, but we can move it to the Ukraine. It's a bit more neutral. So I think for all of us, we can put a lot of things to bed and correct a lot of things. So there can be no excuses now from Sean, from us, from Nadzir, from everyone. He's got the win over Sean. So he's got to show that, yeah, it wasn't a hometown decision. He can come here, you can do it again, then well done. And if Sean can correct it, then we know, you know, it's been done fairly. It's been done fairly.
Talk to me about that from a kind of a training perspective. How have you looked to train Sean and to help Sean correct the faults that he had in the last performance?
A lot of Sean added a lot of things to his game, where in the past we had a lot of movement and a lot of evasive tactics. And sometimes when someone's pushing you and bringing the fight to you, and putting it in the pocket, you've got to stand sometimes and make those judges see that as much as you're not being pushed about around the ring, you know what I'm saying? We needed to bring that grit, a little bit more grit to Sean. Sean's got the skills, and he brought a little bit more grit to his game, a little bit more strength. And there's a few other little things that you'll see on fight night that he's brought to his game, which I felt that in the past it was lacking. But I'll hold my hands up as a trainer, because it's easy to push the blame on these guys, you know what I'm saying? As a trainer, I've got to take responsibility in the fact that I thought at the later point in his career, we were going to get when we took a next step up. So when we came here, obviously with the pandemic happening and everything going on, we needed to then make quick adjustments to get fights in, because it was for a long time he hadn't fought. And I think Nadzir had 2 fights before sure, while he was still in lockdown. So obviously he was in a preparation mode and everything else. And Sean had come from there, traveled. It's always been me being from South Africa, and I've traveled a lot with our fighters, with one of my old trainers, Nick Durant. I always feel when you're stepping up levels, you need to travel the world to experience different cultures, to experience different fighting, how people fight all over the world. If you just want to stay at home and then on a later stage when it's a step up, then travel over to America or Eastern Europe, you know, as Eastern Europe is becoming stronger and stronger in boxing, these experiences for young fighters, you do it rather sooner than later. Yes, it's not nice to lose, as Sean has stated there, but in the long run, this will be a blessing in disguise. As we always say, your glass is either half empty or your glass is half full. Our glass is always half full. We don't look at it as half empty. We take this all learning lessons in life. We take it and we're blessed to have gone through that experience, and that experience has brought us on, and we'll show people on Saturday night that he's learned a great deal from that experience, and it's gonna benefit us in the long run.
Definitely.
Moving on to Saturday, and this is open to either of you. Is there a pressure though to make sure you are successful, because 2 defeats back to back against the same opponent? Does that worry you? Has it crossed your mind?
There's always pressure with regardless any fight. Whatever fight is coming next is always going to be your biggest fight, the most pressure. So that nothing changes there for me. Every fight is the next fight is always your biggest fight, one fight at a time. So that doesn't change for me.
Yeah, and Sean, he's had 10 amateur fights prior to his turning professional. So, you know, everything that we look at, again, like I said, I'll go back to what I said before, my glass is either half empty or half full. We're always, as Sean just said there, we're always going to have pressure. The thing is, if Sean wants to be in this game, let's say Saturday night, it's not the end. Whether we win or lose, it's not the end of his career. The problem is he needs to, if he wants to progress quicker in the game, Saturday night is his time, especially on the platform that's been shown on. With his minimal amateur career and experience, he can make a big statement on Saturday night. So it's all on Sean now on Saturday night too, and his team, Sean and his team, to show what we're about, you know.
So on to Saturday night itself. How do you envisage this fight playing out this time around?
Well, I think he's going to. I don't think he can change his game plan. I'm not going to let him build in confidence. I'm going to be on him straight from the off, and I'm going to stamp my authority straight away.
Brilliant.
That's all I can say. I don't want to say too much more.
He said it there, you know, we just got to listen.
I'm not going to let him build in confidence. Yeah. I'm going to be on him straight away. I feel like last time I let him off the hook a little bit too easily. As I was in his backyard, I gave him an inch and
he took a
mile.
Yeah.
So I'm not letting that happen again. I feel like it's turned me from just being able to box to be able to grit my teeth down and fight when I need to as well. So I think you're going to see the best out of me on Saturday night.
Provided you are successful on Saturday night, have you thought about what the remainder of this year will present to you, what you'd like to achieve as the year progresses?
I'm going to leave that to Sean. I'm just focused on Saturday night. I'll leave that to Sean. I know he's got my best interest at heart. So all I need to do is get the job done on Saturday night, and that's it for me.
Sean, what do you see for Sean?
Oh, there's a lot of interest in what he's doing. In the best quote that I can give, people are saying he's got balls coming out here, you know, and taking on these challenges. So there's a lot of people waiting with quite a lot of bit of interest that have offered us fights already on really good platforms. We work with El Siesta, and he's got a few things lined up, and there's a few other promoters that are watching, a few combat apps and even television shows that have been suggested. But as you say, Andy, you know, it's no point having all these grand plans when we've got a live opponent in front of us Let's deal with Saturday night.
Yeah.
After
exactly.
Saturday night, when that's done and dusted, then we can talk and we can then start planning everything else. And Sean will come out being a better fighter from this whole experience. This whole experience will definitely shape his career. And there's a lot of fighters once everything opens up, there's the English title at lightweight. There's the central area. We'll go down that route. There's no problem going down that route. Everything is a learning experience, and we're just grateful to be able to get a second bite of the cherry against his opponent. And yeah, let's go and see how we progress here, and then hopefully we can have another interview after this, and then we can chat, because we're really grateful for you. As young fighters, they need this exposure. We need this exposure for them, and we're grateful to guys like yourself that are willing to give it to them. So yeah,
no,
definitely.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to obviously talk to anybody, and I appreciate anyone who gives up time to me to be able to do an interview. Final question. I know what we've just spoken about, kind of, you don't want to look beyond Saturday because that's the main thing, and we can catch up after 100%. But just on the domestic scene, as this will be your second fight away from home, Sean, fighter Sean, are you keeping your eye on anybody on the domestic scene who you would like to face soon?
Not really. I don't really go out looking like that. At this stage of my career, I'm not trying to call anyone out. I'm sort of learning on the job. As Sean said, I only had 10 amateur fights. I'm not looking to go calling out names like that, trying to eagerly get fights. I'm not one of them guys.
Yeah. So if I might add to that,
yeah, go for it.
Sean, one thing I will say, Andy, about him, and he's a pleasure to work with. He listens. He's a humble guy. Doesn't get too far ahead of himself, doesn't disrespect other fighters, doesn't call out other fighters, and this is what happened with his last fight, because sometimes he's too humble and he's too nice, and this is why this rematch he had to bring out that nasty side of him. But we've seen it in training, we've seen it with his sparring partners. It's a different Sean now. And after this, once we get back, listen, you don't need to be nasty. If there's somebody there that you think will fight, and I'm one for not believing that people should be like that in boxing. I know people do it and trash talk each other and call out each other, but sometimes it's a bit cringy though, isn't it? We don't need to do it though. The fights are there, people are gonna fight. You don't need to call someone names and call their family names and call people names. Just let's get on and fight. If we get back and somebody's got the central area title and it opens up to the crowds and the central area title's available, that's what we're looking at. We're not looking at the person, but the central area title, I believe, after this experience, is a good stepping stone for Sean to go for that central area title and do things the right way. I like that British path, central area, English title, British title, then European. I like that. It's a nice traditional path to follow in boxing. And I think that that is my aim for him, will be central area, because once you get the fans back, it's a nice night out. Everyone's been cooped up at home. Everyone wants to see a bit of sport, get out, socialize amongst each other. And that will be our aim, to bring everybody together,
Right, guys, we will leave it there now. I'll leave you to enjoy the rest of your day. Best of luck on Saturday night, and I will speak to you both again soon. Thank you for your time, and thank you for speaking to Boxing.
Thank you.
Cheers, Andy. See you.